Everyone. So, right now with another interesting topic, especially for the data engineers, we may need to set up things very quickly for data engineering activities. Um, so one of the thing is called Spark, right? So most of us we are pretty much familiar with this terminology, and so it requires Spark installation. Sometimes it's not straightforward when you go for installation, and moreover, it's not easy in Windows. Um, it has some quite steps to set up things in Windows and other things. So that's why the Docker Spark setup is very crucial. In this video, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to show or I'll walk through the steps which something which I did for my own project. For that, I mean, the project is something which is I want to access the Spark from Jupyter Notebook. I want to execute few code. I want to use Spark um, performance from the Jupyter Notebook. Um, so that's where I thought that setup is we need to set up the machines and Spark things to connect from Jupyter Notebook. So I wrote this article. Uh, so I have provided all the list of steps. It's like documentation for me to you know to set up the Dockers, set up Spark, and how to access the Spark from Jupyter. So I provided each steps in detail. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the same steps. I'm not going to perform because I already had that steps earlier, so I don't want to perform again. So I'm just gonna, from this article, I'm just gonna walk through the things in the back end what I did, so that I mean, you can also leverage the same thing for your own projects. So for this uh, setup, I'm gonna use, I used this one, Data Mechanics Spark image. This comes with both Spark and Jupyter in the same container. Otherwise, you can you can use official Spark image also from Brittany. But the thing is, it doesn't comes with the Jupyter. You have to install manually, or you have to install separate Docker for Jupyter Notebook and then connect both uh, Docker using some networks using expose the port on the same side. So it is too complex setup rather than something you want to access the something very quickly. I think this is very straightforward and easiest approach. So the documentation I have provided everything. So the prerequisite is Docker has to be installed, and I created the file called Docker file. Docker file I imported from the image from, and then I changed that into root. And what is working my directory? Working directory is supposed this Spark is my working directory. And then for this purpose, I want to install PySpark and couple of packages for my project perspective. But it's not all the packages really mandatory. But at least if you want to use PySpark and Jupyter Lab, that Pandas, these three, I would suggest to have in your requirement of TXT file. Once you have it, then when we build that image, it run that it copy the command, copy the requirements file, and run that uh, requirement file. After we run that requirement file, it will be we are exposing the Jupyter notebook to access from the outside the Docker container. So that is these are the key steps. And so this is the steps. This is the command for build the image from Docker file. So this is a Docker file. So if I run this Docker build uh, the T Spark name using this Docker file, it will create uh, it download the image and ready for run. So it just build the image right from the data hub, sorry, from the Docker hub. So once you run the command, you can go to the image, you can see the image name, which is the same name Spark Home we created. And then as a next step, we can run the Docker container, right? So using this command, so this command. So what this command exactly is doing is basically the Jupyter notebook is running on the port of 88888. So I'm exposing both internally. I'm just, exposing the 88 port from Docker to outside of the Docker to connect from my local browser to the Docker uh, machine, right? So that is the reason we need to provide the port number. And then the 4040 port is something is for Spark perspective. Spark generally, when you submit the jobs, the driver node will take care of all the stuff, the things. So in this article, also um, if you want to know more about the Spark architecture, I guess, yeah, this is something I also written about the Spark architecture execution at high level. You can take a look on it. Um, but but just for sake, you want to expose the 4040 port also to see the Spark jobs in UI, so that we can monitor or we can debug the code in Spark UI. So that goes back to the shell command. So once you run that Docker command, we can go to container, and this will create. And so if you click on this, this will take you to logs. In these logs, you can scroll up. You can get the link for your Jupyter notebook. So basically, um, because as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this image contains both Spark and Jupyter Notebook internally. So as soon as you run the Docker, it will it will start the Spark. Also, it will start the um, Jupyter Notebook in the backend. So I just need to here, and I have the code already in my place. Um, so yeah, so we can just check print hello is working or not. It's working, and then the simple Spark code, which I'm just creating a Spark session build app name. This is a Spark session context, and I'm just running some small command. Um, it's just a range of um, code. So it's returned some data. If I want to see this data, so we expose the 4040 port to go there, and it will show us the current execution jobs, which is ran, right? Uh, so this is the typical way of accessing our Spark node from Jupyter, which is running on Docker. And sometimes we want to access the Spark master also. So in order to do that, you have to go to your Spark container and exe, and here you can start your master, and then slave. This will um, you know this will get this Spark master URL. And right now we are running in one Spark machine, and that one is considered as master and both worker. We started the same node, same container. So if I want to run the Spark master URL, you can grab the Spark master URL from here, and then just put it on the master URL here. Just execute, and then just execute. You have only three jobs here. After this complete, you see fourth job is the completion task, and started executing things. Okay, so it did some transformation and provide the output. So go here to see the fourth job. So yeah, this is another way of accessing from a Jupyter notebook. Right, it is how simple, right? Think about if you have want to install Fork in Linux machine from scratch or in your Windows, it's quite cumbersome. It's not straightforward. But with this combo, Docker Spark combo, we literally took, if you download the images, it will take less than 2 minutes, and run that container will take another 2 minutes. So just matter of 10 to 15 minutes, we could be able to do the setup, and we can focus on our, data engineering pipeline stuff. So this is something I want to, show this, the setup which I did for personally for my projects and my company projects or my freelancing projects. So this easy, pretty simple setup. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. See you next week.